Hello, friends. I am Shivali Miglani from Desi Cows for Better India. And today I have a very special guest who I'm speaking with, Mr. Nikhil Jadhav. By profession, he's a food technologist and works in a MNC called Mondelez, which owns a lot of famous brands like Cadbury and Oreo and so on. His native is Sangli, and he goes to Sangli every weekend to do something very interesting, and that is to attend to his Krishna Valley cows. They have formed a trust about 3.5 years back called Krishna Valley Trust Cow Trust, and this aims to conserve the highly endangered Krishna Valley. So let's begin by asking him, um, about his trust and about the work that he is doing. So hi, Nikhil.
Hi, Shivali.
Yeah, please introduce yourself. If I've missed on something about your trust, please explain.
Sure, great. Thanks. Firstly, thanks a lot, Shivali, for this opportunity. I think you're doing a great job in terms of being a bridge between all those who are doing this work, preserving our native cows. It's just a humble, endeavor that we've had. My name is Nicholas Settlement. I represent the Krishna Valley Cow Foundation. So it's a trust which predominantly works on helping the proliferation of this near endangered or near extinct cow by the name of Krishna Valley. We are almost seven of us who come together and form this trust. All of us are batchmates from our college days, and we thought of coming across and setting up this farm in Sangli district and work towards and make this cow popular as it was few decades back. Yeah.
So let's come to the Krishna Valley cow as such. What is the native breeding tract of this area? Where is it originally found in? And now where is
Yeah.
it now? Where do you find
Yeah. So as the name suggests, Shivali, Krishna Valley cow was predominantly found in its heydays on the riverbanks of Krishna River. So, districts in Maharashtra like Sangli, Satara, some parts of Solapur as well, and the districts of Karnataka like Bagalkot and some parts of Belgaum. Yeah, these were few tracks, and also certain parts of southern Karnataka as well. So these were the few tracks wherein Krishna Valley was predominant in its heydays, almost say in the times of 60s or so. But now what has happened is you don't see these cows at all in Maharashtra. There are only few concentrated districts or taluka places within Karnataka where you can see these cows. And still, these cows are not the pure ones. These are graded cows. You can very well say probably 50-60% rates of Krishna Valley and the rest being either nondescript or killer as such.
all right. So that's quite sad that the numbers are really declining. And people tend to confuse between Krishna Valley and the Khilari breed. So could you shed some light on what are the unique characteristics of the Krishna Valley and its temperament?
Yeah. So, as you rightly mentioned, in terms of the color shades, to certain extent, does look like similar to Khillar, but something which is very unique or very observant in Krishna Valley is its black eyes, and the muzzle also is quite black. And what really comes across a prime difference between Khillar and Krishna Valley is the size of the cow. So Khillar to a certain extent is quite slender. It's tall, whereas Krishna Valley, if you could see, tends to be a bit stout in its nature, and also it has very typical black muzzle. The nose area, the hoofs are also black. The knees are black. It has got a very blackish or reddish coats at certain point, and the back of the ear is still has its black tinges back there. So tail is longer than Khillar, but very typically, if you could ask the local people, they can very well make a difference between a Khillar and Krishna Valley because of the structure of the whole cow as such. So Khillar tends to be a bit slender and tall in nature. It's a bit more majestic in its appearance, Khillar, which is of course one of the reasons why Khilar is preferred over Krishna Valley, because the interested farmers take to different fairs and stuff, wherein Khilar finds a good appeal amongst commoners from its look perspective. So that's how we can very well differentiate between these two.
Okay. So this knowledge you say is still preserved by the locals, but if we lose this breed, obviously it's gonna go. I mean, people need to see the cow in real to be able to distinguish and benefit from its unique characteristics. Um, I'm
True.
sure it works much better than Khilari in its own native breeding tract when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to being in the fields, plowing, etc. as well.
Yeah, correctly mentioned. So I did go through few resources wherein it was mentioned that this breed works. Bull of this breed works best in the black soil wherein cotton is predominantly grown, primarily because of its hoof structure. Wherein Khillar and other bulls might find difficult to plow the field or till the land, whereas Krishna Valley works well in that specific type of soil.
Great, great. So why do you think this cattle has declined over the years? What is your understanding?
As is common with many other native cows as such, it's the popularity of HF, the changes that have come into agriculture practices, more amount of modernization and mechanization has certainly been one of the reasons, prime reasons for its decline in population. And the other reason, of course, as I mentioned previously as well, farmers are preferring Khilar over this cow because of its appearance, because they can take the cow to different fairs as such, and also there isn't much awareness among many locals about the Krishna Valley cow. To a certain extent, the milk capacity as well as the calving phase for Krishna Valley is much higher than Khillar. So I've seen in the native track some Krishna Valley cows who calved 17 odd times, so 17 years of calving. So that's quite an interesting thing, Krishna Valley, and that's the reason. I mean, it's a very unique germplasm, and we need to really take initiatives to save this.
Definitely. So what steps are being taken to conserve? Because this is a cow, a breed which is registered with the Genetic Bureau, right?
Yeah, NBA. Yeah.
Yes, but then it's not. What steps are being taken to conserve by the government? Of course, you guys are doing a great job, but you do
Mhm.
need a lot more funding. You need a lot of energy, time going to conservation in a very scientific way, which has to be done by the government organization. Is there anything being done about it?
That's very rightly said. And in terms of the efforts, I believe a lot of efforts is needed on ground in terms of and that kind of an infrastructure. I think there wouldn't be anybody else but government who can have that kind of an outreach in rural areas and the infrastructure to go and meet so many farmers as well. So I did connect to few people from BIF, BAIF. It's not exactly a government organization; it's an NGO as such. And I could really understand when I met them. There was an initiative taken almost around 2011 or 12, wherein the preservation of this breed was taken seriously. So there were few bulls that were picked up from farm, and they stored the semens of these bulls. And there was this project specifically was a joint project, I think, between BIF and NBAGR. I'm not really sure of the technical details of it, but there were a few initiatives taken at that many years back. But somehow I believe whenever we speak of conserving a breed, it's a very long process. I think the momentum should continue at least 4 or 5 generations, so that it kind of gets into an auto proliferation mode, and we don't really need any focus also. But it really diluted after say 2 or 3 years or so, and there wasn't much that was taken up after that by the government. That's what I believe. To a certain extent, I believe government of Karnataka can have a much more inputs or say in this because of the track that it belongs to. If I'm not mistaken, there are two farms, government-owned farms, which is focusing on trees. One of which recently moved away from hospital. So I did connect with one individual, Dr. Sheetal from the Karnataka Husbandry Department, wherein they are working on this specific breed also. So I think there's a lot that has to be done, and you know individuals or probably non-governmental organizations can really come up and set up satellite farms as such. But if at all we've got to really save this breed, it's very difficult from an trust perspective, individual perspective to do this, because in any case, the resources and infrastructure that is essential, government is the best organization to do this.
For sure, for sure. But you are doing such great work at an individual or a trust level. How can people contribute or, help you to achieve, what your vision is? What can we do?
Yeah. That's great, and there are a lot of things that can very well come across. I mean, at times we've really required a good number of volunteers to go around and have a look at the farms, meet people, because as such, there's no recorded data wherein one can really say that certain farmer has this cow, or certain amount of taluka place has this population of this Krishna Valley cow as well. So doing some sort of groundwork, maintaining data record.
Do you think DNA sequencing, collecting the hair of from the tail and then giving it to any government organization which has all this set up to at least have a recording of, the purity of the breed and so on. Can that also be done by the volunteers? Do you think?
Yeah, I think that will be great, because one amount is about tagging and making the farmer aware of the whole breed. Because what really happens is that one individual, that specific farmer, is not well aware that he has this Krishna Valley cow. May not be even pure, but maybe a 70-80% or so, and he might really be inseminating it with a Khillar semen acid, further diluting it. So making the individual farmer aware that what kind of germplasm he has and what can really be done, so that let the cow be with him itself. I mean, he may not really buy it out from him also, but at least make him aware, make him the semen available, so that
Yes.
he kind of inseminates it with the right semen, and we can have the Krishna Valley cow.
Only with BAI, you say, or
Yes, I think the semen also that I have gotten in touch with the Pune branch to get that to our farm. I'm not really sure of its availability in other sources also, but I'm pretty much sure BIF has it.
okay. So definitely, it's a big job of making farmers aware and
Yeah.
educating them and making the semen available to them. So all this
Yes.
requires volunteering and help. So I do encourage, people who are listening in and who have the energy and time to dedicate for this. I think it's a great noble cause that you can do work for. And anything else? I mean, are you facing any financial difficulties to run your place also?
Yeah, I mean, it does come with a lot of financial load. I mean, what really happens, as I mentioned, we started with 2 cows, and somewhere, we're trying to sustain it amongst ourselves, the seven of us. Luckily enough, we do have decent jobs also, wherein we can really contribute to it,
Don't
the
get
daily upkeep of the farm.
outside, is it?
Sorry, could you please repeat, Shirley?
You don't get much donations from.
Not really, not really. In fact, unfortunately enough, we couldn't really go out and talk much about our the work that we've been doing. But thanks to you, I mean, we'd really like to have this platform to make our trust more aware amongst people. And but of course, any kind of donation is much welcome. We are growing by size as such, and I think there would definitely be a point wherein we would be looking after incoming donations to make ourselves sustainable in the future.
I really request all of our viewers to come forward and support them as much as they can because there are not many Krishna Valley cow left, and this is the only time, where we can work towards it. If we let the decline happen the way it has already, I don't think we can do anything about it after a few years at all. So,
Yeah, right mentioned, Shivali. In fact, just to give you a bit of a numerical perspective, again, it's a government-backed data and it's quite old. So I could really find a 2013 data. It was a livestock census that had been done, and I think the numbers are available on internet. They had put the number at 3,500. Okay, and this was 2013. Me moving around places, I have not really come across a cow which we can really call it out. Yes, it's 100% Krishna Valley, so it's definitely graded one. And as I mentioned, farmers are inseminating it with killer semen acids. So probably 4 to 5 years down the line, we won't be having this germplasm anymore.
That is very, very sad, but I want to leave the viewers at this note and let's do what we can to preserve this cattle. And thank you so much for taking out time speaking with us and really, really appreciate what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you, Ari.